Hey, what's going on, crypto people? Excuse me. It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. It is July 12th. Good afternoon and good evening to each and every one of you. It's about 1:39 Las Vegas time. That is 1:39 Las Vegas time. Interesting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class, this digital asset space. The market, again, is doing what the market does. What is going on? Some change of heart. Change of heart? In reference to Celsius Network, I don't want to say change of heart, but change in game plan, change in strategy. I'll share my thoughts. And guess what? Even Bitcoin crypto seems to be changing his thoughts on Celsius Network, and perhaps we flipped. Perhaps we've traded places. I'm not sure, but I'll share, certainly my thoughts. It was interesting to hear Bitcoin crypto share his change of heart. In any case, we're going to go over that as well. Some interesting stuff on crypto, Twitter. Been a few days of driving and traveling and getting things set up for Little Miss Crypto Siege. A lot of heart-wrenching conversations, difficult conversations had in reference to Celsius Network. And yeah, in the end, after council, I have to have a different plan. And so that is what we're going to do, execute a different plan. So we'll get into that as well. So guys, listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. So look, man, the market cap is doing what it does. The total cryptocurrency market cap right now is $908 billion. And the Bitcoin dominance is at 41%. Bitcoin is at $19,496 again. Ethereum is at $1,046 again. And XRP is at 31 cents freaking again. A lot of double figure reds on the 7-day. A lot of double figure reds. Polygon still doing its thing. Glad we took profit and exited completely on that trade. So, the market, guys, again, is just doing what it does. What can you say? It's a crazy, crazy, crazy time to be in a space. This was a very, very interesting thing to me to hear this Homeland Security person talking about they knew who Satoshi Nakamoto was, Nakamoto. That's interesting to me in a lot of ways. Take a listen to this. I mean, crazy.
One of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which is called Black Market Reloaded. They were sending weapons through packages and ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. And he goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what their reason for it was.
This is from the Department of Homeland Security. That is just a very, very interesting statement. So, like, if they know who he or they are, what else has been done about that? Like, wouldn't that, I don't know, wouldn't that speak to, 1 or 3 people holding a lot of Bitcoin and I don't know, like, why hasn't anything been done more about that? Why are we just learning about this now? Interesting to me. Anyway, but that was supposedly, this is what it says here. From Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox. Put this out. Hope you're doing well, bro. It says, person speaking is Rana Saud, S-A-O-U-D, Assistant Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security investigations. During the government does the government know who Satoshi is, and did they meet with them? That was apparently that's who that was. Interesting, to say the freaking least there. Very, very interesting to say the least. I think this is important because again, it just speaks to the really, really big picture. This is, I think, something Morgan. I keep forgetting this dude's name. Mr. David Morgan, something like that. And he's talking about the reality of being a depositor in a bank, like the reality of being a depositor in a bank. And it is no different. It's no different in my mind, none, nada, no different than being an account holder on Celsius, on Nexo, on BlockFi. No difference in my mind. Just take a listen to this. He's on Stansberry Research here with Daniela. Brilliant, smart lady. Take a listen.
The idea that you have money in the bank, everyone takes for granted, but they don't read the fine print to realize they're an unsecured creditor. I'm talking about the United States.
You're an unsecured creditor. And the interesting thing is you're an unsecured creditor. So we have about 15 to 20, at sometimes maybe 25% of our stuff in a bank. That is very interesting. We're not down to, we would love to be down to 10% or lower, but given all the different circumstances, we have to figure out some other stuff. We already know what the real answer is, but, and we'll do that, but it will be in dividend paying for sure, cash policies, but you're an unsecured creditor, I think is what he said. It's interesting when you have your funds in the bank.
Yeah. An unsecured creditor to the bank, and it's really the bank's money, believe it or not. And what that means in a banking crisis, and let's say that there is a bail-in, then they have the right legally to take what you consider to be your money. So there's two thoughts on this. Number one is the ownership theory of money is you take out physical currency.
So they have the right. And now he's saying in an event of a bail-in, but the bottom line is bail in or bail out, we're still whatever you call those creditors, unsecured creditors. Bottom line, bail in or bail out doesn't matter. And the bottom line to it is as well, is at any point in time that they want, they can just say pause or frozen or can't access at any time they want. That's the reality of it. Now you throw in this whole idea of this unsecured creditor. Now isn't that what I believe Coinbase and Celsius and Nexo and BlockFi all say? Same exact thing. And doesn't a bank lend out your money? I believe they do. I believe they loan out our money at a significant rate. And we all know the whole guise. I hope we've gotten clear the whole guise of FDIC insured. Hope we understand that whole, not just from Voyager mistakenly and kind of misleading people, but just the whole FDIC thing. We hope we understand the real, that's a sham. And just Google, savings and loan being bailed out by the FDIC. No money in the FDIC. Just understand that. And interesting, he mentions crypto here in the end. It's like the answer. Take a listen.
Should have cash at home to make sure you can pay rent and whatever your basic expenses. But are you completely out of the system now?
I'm not. I have to have an account, the business account, to pay,
Right.
people that work with me. So not completely out, but no, I think there's really two methods here that most people are familiar with. One is the traditional privately held money, gold and silver. And the other, of course, it's been at the forefront for some time now, and that's the crypto.
That's crypto.
What's your exposure now, David, if you don't mind sharing? I know you mentioned you should.
That's crypto. Gold, silver, and crypto. Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki has been saying gold and silver and Bitcoin for a while now. Interesting stuff. For a while, he's kind of been putting that out there. I think I already shared Leonard P. Jones. Uniswap, big time issue, 42,955 ETH, and apparently wrapped Bitcoin along with it in a hack. I got to give it to BK. He pointed out the real truth that a lot of the stuff on the Ethereum blockchain just keeps getting knocked off. That's not a great deal. Yesterday, some CZ Binance put out that it was 42,995 ETH, and he said his team got an alert about it. Apparently, yesterday, some Uniswap LPs unfortunately fell for a phishing scam. Liquidity providers unfortunately fell for a phishing scam, a problem far too common in crypto today. To be clear, there was no exploit. The protocol always was and remains secure. Well, okay, here's what happened. Now, CZ is saying it was on with Ethereum. Official airdrop malicious tokens to Uniswap LP wallets. The name of the token directed users to a malicious interface that claimed the users could swap these tokens for you and I. Just a Uniswap token. This generated a set approval for all transactions, which, if approved by the user in their wallet, gave the attacker the ability to redeem all of the users' Uniswap V3 LP tokens for their full underlying value. This is a good reminder for wallets and other interfaces to be vigilant about hiding spam and token URLs in their name. So he's saying that it was a phishing attack. This is not Uniswap. This is Uniswap Labs who put this tweet out. Again, CZ Binance was saying it's 4,295 of them. That's just not great. Gold Telegraph put this out. The stock market is off its worst start. It's off to its worst start. I can't speak this morning. Since the 1970s, wiping out $3 trillion in retirement savings. Yeah, those government things, qualified plans and all of that nonsense. $3 trillion in retirement savings. That's just not a great number. Not a great number right there. That's just 3 trillion. I know I did a video 2 days ago, and I just unfortunately just had this the assistant get that uploaded today for you guys. And I think it's interesting that people point to Quincy when it's time to kind of clear up some kind of misunderstandings, because I just think a lot of people just don't really understand what's going on. And again, this dude is talking about the value, and he's talking about debt, and then that's you got to buy the XRP to put the certain amount of value on the ledger, and also debt. And Jimmy Valley, again, his thinking to the Fed was about collateralizing the debt. And the most important thing for me is understanding transactions that take place outside of CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap happen all the time. And again, all the time. And if the Fed gets what Quincy is saying here, if they get that, if it makes sense, if they understand that, at least then that's the reality of it. Take a listen.
So anybody out there that's telling you they'll know where the price of XRP will go has no idea. Zero, absolutely zero clue. But I'll give you a tiny hint of an idea of what could happen. So XRP is it's a financial instrument of value. And that instrument is basically, the instrument's really liquidity between different other instruments like bonds, stocks, currencies, all the everything basically.
Yeah.
And the XRP is only worth the value of the things that are issued on it, because it would cost XRP to buy those things on the network and use that liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening here is not only do you have to issue all of the equity, but you've also got to issue all of the debt. So XRP is only bound by the fiscal responsibility of the people that issue assets on it, which is obviously irresponsible. So XRP could be at $100, $100,000, $1 million. It depends on how many assets you want to issue onto the network. So if you wanted to issue,
it depends on how many assets you want to issue on the network. David Schwartz said that this whole thing cannot work unless it is high. Again, the shot in the dark situation that Jimmy Valley proposes is suggesting that the Fed, U.S. Treasury, whoever, might understand the value of the XRP ledger and utilize it to tackle its debt situation. Quincy here, it's just said that it doesn't really matter. It's a value, right, property. XRP is just a value property, right? He just said it. He said it could be 100, it could be 100,000. It doesn't matter. Whatever that value is on that, you have to buy the XRP to get it. Now, do you want to buy 100,000 XRP or one XRP for $100,000? And that is what David Schwartz said. That is what David Schwartz says. He says, do you want to buy 100,000 XRP or do you want to buy one XRP at $100,000? So that's kind of what it is, and kind of, I guess what I'm saying is, if young Quincy is saying this and David Schwartz is saying the price has to be high, and he used the example, I think David gave 5 examples. I think he did a penny, I think he did $1, I think he did up to 10,000, whatever it was. He was basically saying that the price has to be high. It has to be high. When you're talking about crazy stuff like collateralizing a nation's debt and a possible, quote unquote, if you will, reset, and how that would work. So again, I think the most important thing to understand is the driver for a particular federal government institution, their driver, their incentive, if they understand what Quincy just so eloquently stated. If they understand that, and my guess, listen, I mean, you hear about the faster payments thing going on. You know about the conversations that Ripple and the company are having with these massive institutions or entities like the IMF and the World Bank, the things that they're doing with the Fed right now. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Do you think they understand what just young Quincy just said? Or do you think that David Schwartz could explain it just as eloquently as young Quincy is doing? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to make the decision for yourself, but continue listening to this. Check it out.
$100 trillion worth of equity, cool. That's a lot of money on the network. What happens if they want to issue another $500 million worth of debt? That also adds value to the network. So there really is a mind-blowing amount of wealth, essentially, that could basically be flowing through these networks that we can't even comprehend because of that debt question of being able to issue more and more and more value in the form of
more
so
value.
anybody out there that's telling you they'll know
value in the form of debt. So again, I don't know. is young Quincy on the conspiracy thing? Is he on the Fed buyback thing? I don't think so. He's not on it. What he's explaining is the possibility of XRP in the XRP ledger. But he didn't hesitate to mention $100 trillion of equity and 500 million in debt. Like, he didn't hesitate. And didn't you just remember what David Schwartz said? He said it. Would you rather buy 100,000 XRP at $1 or one XRP at $100,000? It's just, and then he says, in order for this to work, the price has to be high. The challenge is everybody thinking the price is going to be indicated on CoinGecko. Everybody thinks the price is going to be displayed on CoinMarketCap. That's the problem. And in my opinion, what Jimmy Valley was trying to explain to people, that the price you see on CoinMarketCap, I don't know how to tell you, that ain't the price based upon real world experience. So take that for what it's worth. Let me get into the Celsius thing. So guys, listen, I have been on AMA after AMA after AMA, Twitter Spaces, AMA, and I'm just constant counsel with attorney, get ready to have a real in-depth counsel again with attorneys and really have an in-depth conversation. And so for me, having been an ambassador for Celsius, and you guys know that, and you know where I stood recently, my hopes and prayers are that things can get turned around, but that's a hope and a prayer, and the hope and a prayer will not get my assets back. And the more and more I thought about it, it's interesting to me, is because the Spark and the Spark token was the thing that really got me thinking, you know what? I have to change my stance on my plan, because my plan was to mentally flip the switch off. It's gone. And then begin physically again acquiring more XRP. And it was something about the Spark token. And it's funny because the Spark token was a blessing, right? Never put, I haven't put any dirty, nasty fiat into the Spark token, but it was the Spark token and the conversations around with Hugo in the last interview that Hugo did with the Bearable Bull, and listening to Mickey B. Fresh here recently, that said, you know, that kind of got me thinking. And you know, I'm constantly on Twitter Spaces. You know, almost 90% of my time is on Twitter Spaces, re-listening and re-listening and re-listening to recordings and re-listening and re-listening and re-listening, because I want to get a sense of what people are thinking, and I want to wrap that around how people are feeling, and then I want to be able to listen to people who are on the outside looking in, because a lot of times the people that are on the outside looking in have the realistic picture of what's going on. They have you understand? The people that are in this fight, the people that are dealing emotionally with everything, can be emotional and not think straight. So a lot of times the people that are on the outside looking in have the best perspectives. And so listening to people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again from the outside looking in, it was very, very clear to me that, you know, I had to change my plan. And that's what we're doing. So we're changing the plan, still a mental switch, if you will. But we're changing our plan, changing our strategy. So those of you that I know that are part of Celsius, DM me on Twitter. I'll share with you what I do know. Like I know Crypto Kahuna. I think perhaps the lady at Crypto Keyless and this another lady, can't remember her name right now, that I know from the family, from the channel. South Texas Celsian. All you guys that I know from the channel that are involved with Celsius, just DM me on Twitter, crypto_siege, and I'll share with you what I know. And yeah, obviously you guys will have to make your own personal decisions, but based upon information and based upon my counsel and based upon, again, listening to just hours and hours and hours and hours of Twitter Space AMAs, everything just clicked to me and said, this is the plan that needs to be done. And the long and the short of it is an attempt to get my crypto off of Celsius. That's really the long and short of it, as opposed to just writing it off mentally and physically trying to re-establish positions in XRP. So that's kind of long and short of it. I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. Things don't appear to be right. Things don't appear to be right. And given that things don't appear to be right, that means legally there are things that can be done because things don't appear to be right and at Celsius, and that is makes things for people who are account holders there legally have a legal fight in the game, if you will. Things I think that were, if they're done aboard without approach and done right, that's another thing, right? Businesses you get started and go under all the time, like all the time. But if there are things that are not right and done right, not just a mistake, like done wrong, that is yeah, that's a challenge. And so yeah, so I'll DM me and I'll let you guys know what I know for sure. But I know I reached out to a good friend of mine on the channel, and I mentioned something that it's coming to fruition, and ultimately I knew this was going to happen. It had to come down to a choice by the CEO of the company having to make a choice, and that choice ultimately was between himself and his family and account holders. He was gonna have to choose one or the other. And I said this, I think I mentioned this to my bud about 2.5 weeks ago. And it's for me, he's made his choice. And for me, it's not me. That's really the long and the short of it. So there it is, guys. That is your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.